Good morning, everyone. This is Luwannah with Arbor Real Estate Group in League City, right outside of Houston. And I am in the car again today, so I thought I would come to you with another real estate road trip. Funny story, my 1 hour commute to the office has very quickly turned into a 2-hour commute. So if you are moving to Houston, that is something you should keep in consideration. Sometimes Houston is 2 hours away from Houston. So make sure you keep that in mind whenever you're looking for which side of town you want to live on. But that's not why I'm here today. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the comparison of the taxed assessed value on a property versus the market value of a property. They are two very, very different things, so I wanted to take a minute to explain the differences and compare them for you. I'm going to start with the taxed assessed value. That is something that the county assigns the property based on the age of the home, the size of the home, the neighborhood, the school district, any renovations, upgrades, or updates you've done to the house, any additions, adding more square footage to the house. And usually they use, the age of the roof, the age of the house, kind of just the same thing that a real estate agent or an appraiser would use. They're going to pull similar properties and see how much those properties are valued at and how much those properties have sold for. So then they come up with this number and they assign it to your property as the tax assessed value, and that's the number that they use whenever they charge you a percentage for property taxes. Okay, so next we're going to talk about market value. Now, market values change a lot depending on the real estate market. Sometimes we'll have a seller's market, and what that means is there is low inventory and buyers are desperate and they're getting in bidding wars over houses, and the sellers are able to drive those prices up because they know that there is low inventory and the houses are a hot commodity. So the house prices go up as inventory goes down. Simple supply and demand. We have what is known as a buyer's market, which is when we have too many listings on the market, too many houses for sale, and not enough buyers are interested in buying them. And right now, I would say we are in what's called a normalizing or a healthy market, which is kind of right in the middle. We do have some inventory on the market finally, thank goodness. So we do have some options to look at. But at the same time, we also have a lot of buyers, so those houses are getting snatched up in about 30 to 40 days on average. It was 5 days for a little while, so 30 to 40 days might seem like it's a long time for sellers, but really it's not. It's perfect. Typically, you want a healthy market to not be snatched up in 5 days because we don't have buyers, outbidding each other. So that is market value. Now let's talk about value, like the value of a house. As a realtor, I define the value of a house as the dollar amount the seller is willing to accept to sell the house and the dollar amount a buyer is willing to pay for the house. Not only does this change weekly and daily, it actually changes case by case. For instance, I have buyer A, and buyer A has been looking for a 5-bedroom house with a study and a pool for 6 months. We've literally seen every house on the market the last 6 months, and they have to move. They are on a time limit. If they don't move soon, they're going to be homeless. Oh my word, they have a lot of kids, they need to move. So you have person A, when they finally see the 5-bedroom with a study with a pool, if that's what they've been looking for, they're probably a little more motivated to pay more for that house versus somebody who's only seen 2 or 3 houses. They just began their home search. Maybe they only need a 4-bedroom with a study, but hey, why not go see this 5-bedroom? They don't necessarily need the house. They might not see value in paying extra for that house. So value is a case-by-case basis based on what one buyer is willing to pay and the seller is willing to accept. Okay, so you have 3 different types of value: the assessed value, market value, and the actual value of the home. You also have appraised value, which that's a different video. That's going to take a long time. But in short, the appraiser comes out and takes all the same information into consideration, the age of the house and all the upgrades, updates, and condition of the house. And they're going to also look at all of the comps or comparable houses in the neighborhood that have recently sold. But an appraised value, the definition is actually an opinion of value. So the appraiser has a license that gives them the the right to give you an opinion of value. So if you get 5 different appraisers to come out and appraise your property, chances are you could have 5 different appraisal amounts. And sometimes it's a $20,000, $40,000 gap, and sometimes it's a $2,000 gap. I think sometimes in real estate, we have to provide our sales contract so we can kind of give them a map of what we're hoping it appraises for. But at the end of the day, without giving someone a contract, if you were to hire 5 different appraisers to come out and run numbers, there is a chance you would get 5 different opinions. Again, that's a different video, but I just wanted to give you an explanation of what that means. So, why is this important? Why am I making this video? Why am I having this conversation? A couple of reasons. So my number one reason I want to explain, I feel like it's most important, is because of the cost of your taxes. So let's say you purchased a home 8 months ago in this inventory frenzy when it was a seller's market and values were going up and sales prices were going up. So you purchased this house at $500,000. Now that transaction was on the MLS. The county courts know that it was listed for $500,000. They also know that all of the comparables in the neighborhood sold for around $500,000, and they're going to assign an assessed value of $500,000 to this property. So now you're going to be charged at $500,000. So let's say same house, but you didn't buy it 8 months ago, you bought it 3 years ago, before the inventory frenzy happened. And let's say you only spent $300,000 on this house 3 years ago. By the way, these numbers can actually happen. Our market has been crazy. So 3 years ago, you purchased this house for $300,000. Your assessed value at the time assigned was probably either $300,000 or really, really close to it. So you're paying taxes based on that. The reason this is important is because in the state of Texas, we have something called a homestead exemption. So if we have a homestead exemption on the property, there are several perks and benefits to having a homestead exemption, but the one I'm going to talk about right now is they're only allowed to increase your assessed value by 10%. So if you take $300,000 and you assess it by 10%, you have a market increase or an assessed value increase of $30,000. So now your assessed value is $330,000. All right, why does this matter? Because if you are paying taxes based on a $500,000 home and you take $500,000 and you multiply it by a 3% tax rate, you're looking at a monthly payment of $1,250. So every month, $1,250 gets added to your mortgage so that it can go in an escrow account so that the escrow account can pay your taxes at the end of the year. Let's take the same scenario 3 years ago when you purchased a house for $300,000. You take $300,000, multiply it by the same tax rate, 3%, and you multiply that, it equals $9,000 a year. I'm not driving, I can chat with you. Ooh, I don't like this lipstick. So you take taxes, $300,000 times 3% equals $9,000 a year, and you divide that by 12. You're going to come up with $750. So $750 on top of your regular mortgage payment is going to go into your escrow account so your escrow account can pay your taxes for you. That is a difference of $500 in taxes alone. This is huge, guys. This can actually price someone out of being able to afford a home. So I have a lot of home buyers who qualified for a $300,000 house. They worked really hard, they saved their money, and they qualified for a $300,000 house based on the numbers and the taxes of a $300,000 house. If we didn't have this homestead protection in place and their values went from $300,000 to $500,000 and their monthly payment increased by $500 a month, they might not be able to pay for the house anymore. They might have to sell it, or even worse, that's when foreclosures happen. It's a mess. So because of that protection, the homestead protection of only increasing 10% max per year, you're not going to be charged on a $500,000 assessed value. You're going to be charged a $330,000 assessed value. Isn't that so much better? So now you're going to take $330,000, you're going to multiply that by the 3% tax rate. You're going to come up with $9,900 a year in taxes. Divide that number by 12 and you get $825. So now you're paying $825 towards your escrow every month, and at the end of the year, escrow pays your taxes for you. So at $300,000, you're paying $750. At $330,000, you're paying $825. That is a difference of $75 a month. The chances that a homeowner can afford an increase of $75 a month is a lot better than having to pay $500 more a month. So another reason I wanted to talk about this, in addition to just general affordability and why this is important, I want to explain, because I have so many buyers call me and want to see a house, and the house is priced at $500,000 on our MLS, and they say, but it's only worth $330. I don't want to offer full price. I don't want to offer asking price because it's only worth $330. And I say, well, where did you get that from? I mean, I haven't ran numbers for them yet. I know the general public has access to MLS and can kind of see what houses are going for, but to actually run detailed comps, more than looking at what's stuff in the neighborhood cost, I mean, it takes a lot of factoring numbers and comparing houses and comparing finishes and carpets and tiles and granites and are the cabinets new? I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this. So whenever someone says, well, it's only worth $330,000, I'm a little taken back, and I say, well, what do you mean it's only worth $330,000? Where did you get that from? Oh, well, I did some research online, and the tax assessed value is only $330,000. There's no way I'm paying $500,000 for that house. Guys, one has nothing to do with the other. So I just wanted to come to you to kind of explain that. There's going to be a lot of instances that you're going to see a $330,000 assessed value, and on the MLS you're going to see an asking price or a sales price of $500,000 or more. It does not mean the house isn't worth it. It simply means you have a homestead position in place preventing it from going up overnight. In addition to that, we have wonderful homeowners who every single year when their assessed value gets released, they file and they go down and they fight their tax value. I support this. By the way, if you need help doing this, reach out to me. I will gladly run numbers for your neighborhood to help give you any ammunition you need. Keeping our assessed values low also keeps our taxes low. And in general, that means that that's going to help our homeowners save a little bit of money. So again, I just wanted to explain the differences in all the different values. As a realtor, I think this is very important for you guys to know. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will see you on the next real estate road trip with Luwannah. See you later. Have a good day.